Hello everyone, my name is Gino Varghese, and today I will address a crucial question. Is it arrogant for Christians to claim that Jesus Christ is the only way to salvation? This claim, often criticized as exclusive and divisive, has been a topic of much debate in our pluralistic society. As we explore this question, I will try to answer these following things: explain the unique claims of Jesus Christ, engage with the philosophy of religious pluralism, and I will try to demonstrate why Christian exclusivity is not arrogance but an act of love and truth. Let's begin by understanding the nature of religious truth claims. Religions are not just cultural practices or mere moral systems, but they make truth claims about ultimate reality, human purpose, and salvation. For example, Christianity claims that Jesus Christ is the incarnate God who provides salvation through his death and resurrection. In contrast, Hinduism teaches that ultimate reality is impersonal, known as Brahman, not to be confused with Brahman, which is in fact a caste. And Buddhism denies a personal God, and it seeks liberation through nirvana. And Islam, which is completely different from Buddhism, teaches that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. These differences are not minor. They address the essence of reality and human destiny. As G.K. Chesterton observed, the religions of the world do not differ in their machinery, but in what they teach about meaning. If religions make contradictory claims, logically they cannot all be true the same way. It's logical to say that all are false, rather than to say that all are true at the same time or the same way. While I was growing up in India, I often hear this story about blind men and elephant. Most of you must have known about this, heard about this story. So the story goes like this: few blind men went to experience an elephant. One went to hold the tail of the elephant, one get hold of the leg of the elephant, one get hold of the trunk of the elephant, and another one get hold of the tusk of the elephant. After they all had their momentary experience with the elephant, they all started to share their experience. And the one who held the tail said, "Elephant is like a brush." The other guy said, "No, it's like a pillar," because he was holding the legs. The other guy said, "It's like a tree," and so on and so forth. They started to argue about who is true. This story is often told to convey that, truth is not exclusive. And we all knew that the person who sees, who's not blind, knows that they all have some elements of truth, but not the ultimate truth. In Matthew chapter 16 verse 17, you will see, we will read like this. Jesus said, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but my Father in heaven." The context is like Jesus asking his disciples about his identity. Some said he is a prophet, some said he is like John the Baptist. Then suddenly Peter said, "You are Christ, the Messiah, the Son of living God." And the reply we just read, "Blessed are you, Simon, flesh and blood didn't reveal it to you, but my Father in heaven. Jesus Christ has made some unique claims. We will look at some of his claims. He claimed that he was Lord of the Sabbath with the authority over it. Mark chapter 2 verse 23 to 28. Jesus Christ claimed that he is the great I am, or Yahweh, in John 8:58 and also in Exodus 3:14. He claimed that the way to the Father is only through him, Matthew 11:27 and John 14 verse 1 to 7. He claimed that he is equal with God, John chapter 5 verse number 18. He claimed that whoever has seen him has seen the Father, John chapter 14 verse number 9. He claimed that he descended from heaven, John chapter 3 verse 13. He claimed that he has the power to raise himself from the dead, John chapter 2 verse 19 and 10 verse 17 to 18. He claimed that he shared glory with God before the world existed, John chapter 17 verse number 5. He claimed that he would send his angels, Matthew chapter 13 verse 41 and Luke chapter 12 verse 8 to 9. He claimed that he has authority to forgive sins, Mark chapter 2 verse 5. He claimed that he has authority to judge the world, Mark chapter 14 verse number 62, and that one's attitude toward him would impact the end of their life, Matthew chapter 10 verse 30 to 33. He claimed that he is perfectly sinless, John chapter 8 verse 46. He claimed that to know him was to know God, John chapter 8 verse 19. To see him was to see God, John chapter 12 verse 45. And to receive him was to receive God, Mark chapter 9 verse 37. He claimed that he and Father are one, John chapter 10 verse 29 to 33, which was not lost on Jewish ears, who responded, "You are a mere man, but claiming to be God," verse number 33. These statements point to his identity as God. No other religious founders, Buddha, Muhammad, Confucius, or Joseph Smith, made such unique claims. Christianity is centered on the historical events of crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Through his death, Jesus Christ offers forgiveness of sin to the whole world, and his resurrection confirms his victory over death. Apostle Paul puts it like this: if Christ has not been raised from dead, our preaching is useless. It's completely useless, and so is your faith. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 14. Christianity is not based on rituals. Yes, you can find rituals in Christianity, but ultimately it's about a relationship. Unlike other religions that prescribes rituals as a path to achieve liberation or moksha or salvation, Jesus Christ invites us into a personal relationship with him. He said in Matthew chapter 11 verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light, and you will find a rest for your souls." Is it arrogant now to believe that Jesus Christ is the only way? Let us consider this bit carefully. Truth by nature is exclusive. Every truth claims exclude its opposite. For example, if 2 plus 2 is 4, it cannot also be 5. But 5 is not far from 4, you know that. Similarly, if Jesus Christ is truly the way to God, then other paths cannot lead to the same destination. Exclusivity is not arrogance, but rather it's the nature of truth. Imagine a doctor who discovers the cure for a deadly disease. Would it be arrogant for the doctor to say that this is the only effective treatment for this disease? Obviously no. It would be an act of compassion to share that cure with the rest of the world. Similarly, Christians believe that Jesus Christ provides the only solution to humanity's deepest problem, which is separation from God. Sharing the gospel is not arrogance, but love. Christianity does not teach that Christians are superior to others. On the contrary, it acknowledges that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. All have sinned and are in need of grace from God, as in Romans chapter 3, verse 23. Gospel is an invitation, not a weapon. It's an invitation to have a deep, loving relationship with the Creator. In 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15, Peter urges Christians should share their hope with gentleness and respect. One of my favorite quotes about evangelism or sharing the good news is like this. It's like one beggar telling another beggar where to find the food is. I hope it was said by Martin Luther. A religious pluralist like John Hick argue that all religions are valid path to the same ultimate reality, which he calls the real. However, his theory faces some critical challenges. Religions differ fundamentally on the nature of God, salvation, and human purpose. Hick's concept of the real dilutes these differences, making it incoherent. Christianity's claim to exclusivity is supported by the historical evidence of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection that set it apart from other religions and faith. Let me share a story to illustrate this. A friend of mine once told me that she couldn't accept Christianity because of its exclusive claim. I asked her, if you were drowning and someone had thrown you a lifeline, would you reject it because it's the only way to get out of the water? She paused for a moment and said, of course not. Gospel is like that lifeline. It's not about exclusion, but about offering a way to be reconciled with God. That's the problem of humanity. In closing, the claim that Jesus Christ is the only way to salvation is not about arrogance, but about truth and love. Christianity stands on the unique person and work of Jesus Christ, whose life, death, and resurrection alone offers hope to a broken world. Religious pluralism may sound appealing to many, but it fails to address the profound differences between faiths. As Christians, we are called to share the gospel with humility and compassion, inviting others to experience the transforming love of Jesus. Jesus said in John chapter 14, verse 16, that He is the way, the truth, and life. No one comes to the Father except through Him. Without the way, there is no going. Without the truth, there is no knowing. Without life, there is no living. Thank you for listening to me. May you seek and find the truth that sets us free. Thank you.